A little late to the thread, but I used to live in Egypt. One night after a soccer game I split a cab back to my apartment with these two Egyptian guys. Both really nice, one of them spoke great English. On the way home I am practicing my Arabic on them and they are helping me out. Well, our conversation turned a little risque and we started talking about hashish, drugs, etc. The driver eventually picked up on our conversation and says, "You want hashish? I know good place and good prices." Without waiting for a response, he veers off the overpass and into a residential neighborhood. Over the protests of myself and my companions, we all professed to liking hash, but not enough to buy off a cab driver in Egypt, where you can get executed for possession. He continued to drive us deep into East Cairo. We stop at the dimly lit warehouse. Dirt road, animals, trash everywhere. He turns off the car and insists we come inside. Despite our frantic protests, he persists. Finally, someone comes out of the warehouse to greet us. This man speaks English and is much less imposing than the cab driver. We reluctantly follow him into a small room, which seemed to serve as living quarters for him and his family. After the obligatory greetings and introductions, his wife brings in tea. We are all considerably calmer now. I begin to suspect that the cab driver was confused and merely took us to meet a friend. This wouldn't have been the first time. Anyways, after about 20 minutes, he stops mid-sentence and says, "So, hashish?" Before we could respond he stands us up and directs us into a hallway. He led us through one of the doors into a very large storage room. He flips on the lights. Right in front of us, one end the room of is a metric ton of hash, broken into bricks and arranged into a long rectangle. He informed us that this was a metric ton. Around the warehouse, flags of the Arab world adorn the walls, but front and center, above the hash consignment, is a Hezbollah flag. He asked us how much we wanted. One of the Egyptians broke in and said 1/2 kilo. The guy walks over and tears off a generous 1/2 kilo and puts it into a paper bag. Charges us $1.50. Thanks us and escorts us out of the warehouse. The cab driver is waiting for us and has a pipe. We decide everything went better than expected and smoke hash with the cab driver. He takes us back to our neighborhood and we pay him about $10. The Egyptians and I breathe a huge sigh of relief, exchange numbers, and continue to smoke that 1/2 kilo for the next 3 months. We're still good friends today. I was hiking in Canada with my brother, somewhere in Banff National Park. Anyways, it was raining the day I decided to climb a small mountain, but the temperature was about 60 degrees at the base, so I decided to wear shorts and a t-shirt. About halfway up, it starts to get very cold, but the exercise was keeping me warm, and I continued to climb the mountain. About 1,000 feet from the summit, the rain turns to snow. Not light snow, but a you can't see a thing kind of snow. At this point, I could not see a thing. It was about 30 degrees, and I was still wearing a t-shirt and shorts. After finally reaching the top, I put on a light windbreaker, which didn't help much with the cold, but I hoped that it could prevent frostbite. On the way down, visibility was still about 4 feet, and the rocks had become covered in ice. Naturally, I hit my head several times, but continued to move instead of trying to wait out the storm. At this point, it became very scary. I was somewhat dazed from the impacts with the rocks and my bleeding, so I tried to walk in a straight line. I must have missed one of the switchbacks, since the trail below me soon disappeared. I now had no idea where I was going, in addition to being freezing cold and unable to see a thing. Luckily, my brother was hiking with me, and happened to realize that I was lost. He called my name, and I stopped moving to try and figure out where he was. I looked down, and realized that I was about 4 steps away from walking off the side of a mountain. I turned back, and made it down, slowly, without any other major injuries.